Hello, Vengeance. How you doing? Hello, Calb or Khalib. Sorry. How you guys doing? I believe it or not, I actually just finished rendering the my Resident Evil CGI film review, or not really review, but ranking. So now I'm trying to pick up a few more ideas from what was sent to me, and hopefully film like two or three more videos today. Okay, that's great. And what's up, Rocket? I hope you guys are doing well. I got just I don't know. I don't know. I just feel bad because August has been kind of a bit of a down month for me. I mean, my birthday's in like a few weeks, so I'm just trying to stay as productive as possible. And I'll be dropping one of my second jobs. I'd say sometime at the end of either September at latest October, and then because I know like there's gonna be a massive amount of games coming out in October and September, October and November for like the holiday season, and I want the time to actually play those. I don't really like how this year I really didn't have anywhere near as much time to play them. So I think once I've saved up enough, which I'm almost getting there, I think I'll be like, you know what, we can actually afford just working on one job for like the next 6 months, and that'll give us time to really get like a lot of content up and do like a lot of filming. And oh, you just got off work. Oh, that's good. Okay. Lately, I've just been sleeping all day and trying to fix that. Yeah, that's been happening to me too. Sometimes it's like I know, like I know I should probably be doing something, but like there's really not much to play. I mean, once I got past what the hell did I just review? Uh, Dang, I can't even remember what I reviewed last. Like right now, I'm just playing like a lot of Diablo, like Diablo 4, but I don't have anyone to play it with. So it's I don't know. I'm not sure how clans work. I'm not sure how exactly they work. Oh wow, that's a crazy. But I don't know. That's really all I've been playing. Like just trying to catch up on video ideas or just save them and then playing a lot of Diablo 4. But I'm playing it by myself. Hope what have you got? What have you guys been up to? Only half of my predictions for SummerSlam were correct. I didn't really watch some like I don't really feel the need to watch wrestling anymore. It doesn't. It just seems like WWE's in a really weird place. I'm just like I'm not. Yeah, there's no need to watch it. Like nobody I enjoyed as a wrestler is even there. They're either injured or they're like unofficially retired. Like they're all gone. Like no one's there that I watch. Hey, what's up, Sean? How you doing? In honesty opinion, did you ship Cloud and Tifa or Cloud and Aerith? I don't know why people ship Cloud and Aerith. That's not a thing. It was always Aerith and Zack, and it was always Cloud and Tifa, but Cloud never really pushed for that. Like a lot of people, like a lot of people like to ship them, clip Cloud and Aerith, but like there's not a single line of dialogue that even hints at that. Like, and this is someone who actually read the original script. Like the only like line that Eris ever says in that context is, "Oh, you remind me of the only boy I ever liked because you have spiky hair." And I'm like, that's about as far as it went. And then some people think, "Oh, how come Cloud, takes Eris's death so bad?" Well, because he could not help his friend, and he felt that if he had all these extra powers that Zack had, that he could protect his friends, and the fact that he couldn't help Zack, and then this happened again, Cloud just felt really bad. Which is why if you watch Advent Children, who are the two people who talk to him the most? It's Aerith and Zack. Because those are the two deaths that he feels he's responsible for because he couldn't help them. That's why he feels so bad. But in no sense, there's no shipping them. Not in the slightest. I never, not even when I was younger, I never considered Aerith and Cloud a thing. Not in the slightest. It's like, it's just losing a friend. Losing a friend you said you'd protect. That's as far as it goes. It's been a troublesome week. I'm sorry about that, Jackie boy. Jackie. Oh God, I love that name. Ah, I love that name. I just watched Sin City, and Jackie boy gets used a lot in like my second favorite story in that film. Yeah, I don't blame you. The booking lately has been pretty bad. I might be done watching it soon. Okay. Cloud just needs a hug. He gets plenty of hugs. What are you talking about? He hangs around with a bunch of orphan kids all the time, so he gets plenty of hugs. What are you talking about? You think Square will make a Final Fantasy 17? I don't know why they won't. I mean, I I don't know the numbers, but I'm sure 16 did well, despite only being out on PlayStation 5, and I'm sure it'll eventually get released on PC. I don't see why wouldn't. I don't know how long they're gonna go before it gets kind of ridiculous. I mean, but I will say this: I'll give Square this. At least they're committed. They're committed to the numbers. Like I don't know. I might be in my like late if I live long enough. I might be in my, you know, like mid 50s, and we'll be at like Final Fantasy 21, and we'll be able to tell these young kids, you know, I remember when I was a kid. I was 7 years old when Final Fantasy 7 came out. And I'm 50 now and we're at like Final Fantasy 21. Man, how times have changed. uh, when do you think the next Mass Effect will come out? It'll come out when it comes out. I have no idea. I don't even know if EA or BioWare is working on another one. They hinted at it years ago, but we've had no updates since, so I don't know. Do you really think Square Enix will has milked Final Fantasy VII to death because of the remake? Sorry for bringing it up. Well, it was probably a business decision because they knew that they could make a large amount of money off nostalgic value at the cost of completely destroying everything that made Final Fantasy VII great, and just put out this stupid remake, which I refuse to acknowledge. But it was purely a business decision. Like when companies do make decisions like that, it's not based off of what the fans want. It's based off of profit and money. I mean, if the fans are calling for it and you give them what they want, fine, you make money. But that's how the gaming industry works. Thoughts on Final Fantasy 12? I thought it was okay, but it wasn't one of my favorites. Yeah, it was also kind of confusing. I couldn't really get into it. I did play it and beat it a couple times, but it just wasn't something I got too invested into. I remember you saying that you might make a video about Devil May Cry 1 and 2 remake. Are you considering it? Sure, if people want to see me talk about it. I mean, sure. I really think that those could use a remake. I mean, if you look at what Capcom did with Resident Evil's 2 and 3. I don't want to acknowledge 4 because that game is dumb. The remake 4 of dumb. It's God, I hate that game. Yeah, I could see that. Like, hey, you update, Devil May Cry 1 and 2, and you give it like the visual style and combat style of Devil May Cry 5. You got a pretty incredible game on your hands. Let's see. What are my expectations for Assassin's Creed Codename Red Japan? I just hope it's good. I mean, having an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan should have happened many, many years ago. Heck, I'll trade Origins for an assassin storyline in feudal Japan. I mean, in some cases, you can say that Ghost of Tsushima is like that. It's like Ghost of Tsushima is what an Assassin's Creed game would be if the combat was a little bit more towards like something like Odyssey, but like the assassin element was there. Like that's what I would expect. I would expect an Assassin's Creed game set at that time period to be something very, very similar to Ghost of Tsushima. And that's why I love that game so much. And heck, I even have my little ghost mask. I've been thinking about modifying this thing a little bit and adding little hooks. That way I can actually put it on. I don't know. I think it's really cool. And I knocked my stand over, so I'll pick it up as soon as I'm done with the stream. What Fallout game have I played? Maybe the fourth one, maybe, but I only played that for an hour and then I quit. I was like, yeah, this isn't really a game for me. No lie, when I saw Final Fantasy II Remake Part 2 trailer, I could only say one thing: one town progress. Yeah, probably. Because they're going to milk that to 3 games. And it's probably not even going to come out. I would not be surprised if they try stretching this out to 3 games. It's like, that's so stupid. That's just dumb. And it's not going to come out till like maybe the PlayStation 6 comes out. Like, they'll wait that long. I mean, come on. Favorite Harry Potter spell? Hmm. Hmm. Well, let's see. What's my favorite spell? I don't know. I don't know. I'll stick with just stupefy, I guess, just to stun people. When people annoy me, just I'll just grab my wand and just stupefy their asses. Just tell them to shut up. We don't talk about Resident Evil 4 remake. I don't mind just talking about it. I just don't really care much for it. Have you ever watched Futurama? If so, you have one of my favorite shows of all time. Yes, I have seen. I've watched Futurama, and I know they're bringing it back, which is okay. I'm just curious if it's going to have the same sort of like quality writing as the original run did. But here, I was a big fan of it. I was watching Futurama when it first started when I was a kid. I've always loved that show. I would easily put it up there with shows I would easily watch a Futurama before I watch something like The Simpsons, but I would definitely put it up there with something like South Park. Let's see. I think it's a solid video idea. Okay. Who is my most hated singer? Mine is Elton. What? You hate Elton John? What? Really? Why? Elton John's a great singer. He just doesn't make new stuff anymore. I enjoy his stuff from the 90s. That's what I grew up on. Uh, but who do I not like? Currently, I would say maybe Taylor Swift. I guess. I don't know why. I'm amazed she's still popular after 15 years because I was listening to her when she first started, and I was just like maybe a fan for like a year, and then I grew up a bit and was like, yeah, I think it's kind of stupid that a heterosexual guy is enjoying Taylor Swift music, so I think I'll stop. And that's when I stopped, and I haven't wanted to listen to a Taylor Swift song since. And so yeah, probably Taylor Swift, I guess. I heard someone say, "Oh, she's as big as Michael Jackson." I just wanted to bitch slap them. It's like, what the? No one is as big as Michael. We haven't seen we will never see an artist that popular. Michael Jackson was so popular, he literally could shut down a building. Taylor Swift can't do that. Like, they would literally shut down an entire building just for Michael being there for 20 minutes. Like, no one's that big. One. Maybe some red paint on the mask. No, 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 no. I like the mask the way it is. And besides, there's already red on the inside anyway, so I don't need to put any red on the outside because there's already red on the inside. Dead Space 2 is the scariest game that I have played. Heck, no argument there. It's mine too. Well, it's one of 3 games that has scared me. It's only been 3 games. That's the original Resident Evil 4, the first time I played it, Dead Space 1, and Dead Space 2. Those are the only 3 games. My favorite spell is the Body Bind Curse. Not bad. There are worse singers. You don't like Elton John? Really? Dude, Elton John's a legend. Wonder when Ghost of Tsushima 2 will come out. Also, I prefer Ghost of Tsushima's voice over English or Japanese. I'm gonna be honest. I was there. I was actually at the PlayStation Experience when they revealed Ghost of Tsushima, and I was in the crowd when I think one of the developers asked if we should add Japanese voices, because I will say in some films it is a little bit weird when you hear certain characters speaking English. Like, I know for convenience you would do that for a wider audience, but it just makes it feel more authentic when they speak the language that they actually are. Like, just the other day, I was watching K-19 with Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson in there, and I just thought it was weird that you have Soviet Russians speaking English with Russian accents instead of just having them speak Russian. Now I understand that Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson probably can't speak, proper Russian, and that's understandable for the film. But I like films that have that off, like they use the proper language. So if you see something like Downfall, they're actually you have Nazis speaking actual German, and I think that enhances my enjoyment. I don't mind subtitles. I can watch subtitles. So if you have a story that takes place in Japan, you know, have them speak Japanese. Like if you see something like The Last Samurai, the samurais are all speaking Japanese because that's what they would speak. Although their English is a little bit limited, and that makes sense at that time. Like that's historically accurate. It's like yeah, they would mostly speak Japanese, but their English was a little bit limiting, and that makes sense. That's why it's a great film. What do I do? What do I think is the easiest Arkham game? Probably Arkham Origins. Yeah, I would say Arkham Origins, at least for me, was probably by far the easiest. Am I going to make more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, like best duels of Jaden and Yusuke? I did not watch Jaden, and I don't know if people want me to do Yusuke. I've been thinking about just doing a lot of Master Duel streams or challenging other people that play Master Duel because I've been playing that like crazy when I'm at work. Like work at my arcade job is so boring. Like I will literally be on my phone because I just upgraded my phone to an S23 Plus, and I will literally play Master Duel for like 6 hours. Like if no one's in the arcade and I'm already like filled up and wiped down the machines, I'll just be just at my station and just play Master Duel all day. And I've ranked up pretty far, I would say, so far. Um, Elton John made a song that I really hate more than your worst game ever. What song was that? I'm curious. I want to know. What's my favorite Elton John song? Mine is I'm Still Standing. Mine is Rocket Man. I love that song. And I think there was even William Shatner did like a rendition of that, and I thought it was incredible. And then Stewie did one also in Family Guy. That's why I love that song. And also they used that song in the Disney movie Rocket Man, which was funny as hell when I saw it as a kid. So that's why I love Rocket Man. What song is it? It is the H song G and G. Never heard of it. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one either. What is my biggest problem with God of War 2? I don't have a problem with God of War 2. What are you talking about? The game's incredible. I don't got any problems with that. Where'd you hear I had a problem with God of War 2? No problems. Do I have a favorite film by Sony Animation? Mine is Pirates, Band of Misfits. No, I don't think I. No, Sean, I don't think I do. Do you think? Okay, Boda, what do you think is the most hardest God of War game I've ever played? Ooh, hardest. What was the hardest? Okay, on the hardest difficulty, I'm trying to think what it was. Honestly, I think on the hardest difficulty, which I have not played God of War 4 or Ragnarok. I've not played those on hardest difficulty site because I didn't need to in order to get the platinum. And I've platinum every God of War game. I think the one that really sticks out to me that was the hardest was probably Ascension. Yeah, I remember there was this one section that was hard as hell, and it was like Kratos was in between like two walls, and I had to like fight off certain enemies, but they were really tough, and if you didn't kill them in a certain amount of time, like you automatically died. I think it was near the end, so I think in terms of just difficulty, it was probably Ascension. It Geo made Juliet quote him, hello, hello. I call it Elton John's domination because it gets personal. Oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm not familiar with that song, but heck, if you despise it, that's understandable. Um, if it makes you feel any better, Michael Jackson made a song that I think is awful. It has an even more awful music video that I would be like, what the hell was Michael thinking making this song? I don't. Like, it looks like he was just fucking around or something. Like, this is not a good song. I don't know why he agreed to do it, and it was him singing with someone else, so it wasn't just his song, but he contributed to it. And I thought, like, I think it's awful. I was like, oh my god, this is the worst song Michael Jackson's ever been associated with. What the hell was he thinking? Did this other guy have like pictures, or was he blackmailing him or something? Like, what the hell was he thinking? Have I seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World? Yes, I have seen it, and yes, I have played the game. Both are awesome. Do I have a favorite Jim Carrey film minus Truman Show? Damn, that's tough. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is probably my favorite comedic actor. I think he's only one of two comedians that's ever like made me like laugh so goddamn hard I peed myself. The other one being Dave Chappelle. And I think Jim Carrey's a little bit funnier because a lot of Dave Chappelle's comedy is racial, which is okay, which is fine for me. It's fine. So I would definitely say Jim Carrey's a little bit funnier. But my favorite Jim Carrey film, damn, that is really hard. It'd be like maybe Liar Liar. Or How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Or The Mask. God, I love The Mask. Like, Jim Carrey was really unstoppable in the 90s. My God, like, that's my childhood. He was unstoppable. Or Yes Man. Like, that was a good one. That came out later in his career. Like, I don't know. I wonder if that could actually happen. Like, how would your life work if you could only say yes if people asked you something? Like, that would be like, that could be very good and very bad, because it would get you to do things that you would never think, but then it might get you to do things you don't want to do. Like, if someone asks you, hey, you want to commit a murder, and you're stuck in this yes movement, this yes mindset, you'd be like, I should say no, but I'm forced to say, yeah, I'll commit a murder. And so that could be very problematic. Is it all right? I'm getting tired of actors and directors saying if you criticize their movies, you're racist. That is so stupid. I mean, just because you make something I don't like, does it make me a racist? It just means I have an opinion. I'm not going to kiss your ass. Like if you make something I don't like, I'm going to tell you that I don't like it. That doesn't mean I don't like you as a person, because I don't know you. That's just dumb. Like, I don't know. Like, someone said that. It's like someone called me racist because I openly don't like Black Panther. Like, by default, it's like, wow, just because I'm brown or black, I should like Black Panther? No. I didn't like Black Panther. I didn't like it. I think it's like the most overrated, quote, black movie ever made. It's overrated. And I don't like it. And I didn't even see the sequel, which I didn't care much for. And people are going to call me racist. It's like, wow, that's something. You're going to call me racist because I don't like a black movie. Wow. What? Man, you're just ignorant. Despite Devil May Cry 2's flaws, what are some things it does better than the rest of the games? I've said this before. I've talked about this. I think the one thing that Devil May Cry 2 did very, very well is it had different paths for its two characters. This is something you would not see until Devil May Cry 5. This is something that Devil May Cry 3 or 4 did not do. Like, trust me, Dante and Lucia have different paths. They have exclusive boss fights that only they can fight. And so you're really almost getting two games. And playing as Lucia feels very different than playing as Dante. And that's a good thing. They did not do that in Devil May Cry 3, because when you got to play as Virgil or any other character, you were just playing through the main storyline. And then when you were playing Devil May Cry 4, you were just playing the game forward as Nero and backwards as Dante, and it was a lot more fun playing as Dante, playing backwards. But you did everything the exact same way, just and forward and reverse. And so they didn't even consider doing different paths till Devil May Cry 5, in which both V, Dante, and Nero all had different paths. They had missions that only they took part in. And I was like, this is an idea that was done in Devil May Cry 2, and no one gives it credit for that. Resident Evil 4 is so good that its remake can never top it. It was never going to top it. It was never going to top it, which is why I didn't want them to remake it to begin with. It wasn't necessary. Resident Evil 4 is a game Resident Evil 4 is a game I play at least twice every year since the game came out, and it's still just as good. And to this day, it still remains my 5th favorite video game of all time. There's only 4 games in the history of the industry I would pick over Resident Evil 4. I'd say that's pretty good. What zoo animal would I have as a pet? If I could pick any zoo animal, what would I pick? Probably a spider monkey. It's definitely a spider monkey. I would not want... I would want something that can fit in my house. Or something that I can travel with. Like, so I wouldn't want like a giraffe or an elephant or something like that. Like, I'd like something that can actually fit in my house. And I can train. And you can train spider monkeys. I've seen that. I have a video for an idea for top 10. Okay, let me type that down. Top 10 Christmas movies? Alright, let me type that down right now. And I'm writing down your name just so I give you credit for when it comes out. But Sean, I might have to save it until we get closer to Christmas. I don't think it makes sense doing a Christmas video now, but I will keep track of it on my list of videos to do. So when we get close to December, I'll be sure to upload it then. I already wrote it down. So yeah. Which do I like better, Coca-Cola or Pepsi? Sorry for asking. Oh, dude, we're here for questions. Ask away. Ask any question you want. I'm an open book. But Rocket, I am definitely a Pepsi person. 100%. I'm a Pepsi person. I mean, I recently had Coca-Cola for the first time in years, and the thing I've noticed is that Pepsi has a bit more of a punch to it, while Coca-Cola feels a little bit more sweet and creamy. Like, not creamy in like how it feels, but like it tastes sweeter. So that's like the main difference. Like if you give me 2 different cups, I could tell the difference between Pepsi and Coca-Cola. I can tell, and I definitely like the punch that Pepsi gives me. What are my thoughts on Castlevania Nocturnal? And hello, what's up, Broken Limit? Well, I'll definitely check it out when it comes out on Netflix. Looks very interesting. I'm curious if I don't think he's the son of Trevor. I'll have to double check on that. But I think this might take place like a generation or 2 after the original Castlevania Netflix series. But I'll double check on that. But yeah, I'm definitely interested when it comes out. I'll definitely watch it. Thoughts on Squall Leonhardt? I think he's a fantastic leader. In fact, if I was making my perfect Final Fantasy team, I would definitely pick Squall as my leader, despite his youth. I definitely think he's one of the better leaders. Yeah, without question. I really like Squall Leonhardt. I really do. What is my opinion on the Boondocks? Oh, I love the Boondocks. I enjoy it. Probably the only time I've ever said the N-word while watching something. Other than that, I don't say it. But when I watch that, I'll recite the lines all the time. With my favorite character is Granddaddy, and my favorite storyline is definitely the Snake Meter trilogy. That was classic. That's legendary. Hey, what's up, Zach Tarf? Hey, Zach. I just want to let you know I got your Resident Evil video ready to go. It's already done. It's ready to upload. I'll upload it as soon as I'm done. So I got your video. So it's already done. Broken Limit. I beat Resident Evil 4 back in March. I really loved it, and it's in my top 7 games of all time. Heck, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm planning to buy the remake, so just to see if it's worth the praise. Heck, everyone's gonna feel different. I didn't like it. I played it from the demo, and I didn't like it, so I never played the full game, and I don't think I would have liked it. From what I saw, they took out a lot of things in there I really liked in the original, so I was never gonna like that game. So heck, if you play the remake and you like it, heck, I'm glad you liked it. Wondering what I thought of Dead Island. Okay, wait, Mark has that question. How many re-releases did Resident Evil 4 the OG have? I think they release it every time a new console comes out because let's see, I have it on so many consoles, it came out on 2. I know they re-released it on 3. I know they re-released it on 4. I know they released it on on Switch. And I think they released it on they re-release it every generation because I've played it on 4 different consoles, so it's at quite a lot. And I go and I always pick it up. So if they choose to re-release it on PlayStation 5, you bet your ass I'll get it. But I probably don't have to because I already have a copy of it on PlayStation 4, so I can just pop in my PlayStation 4 a remastered disc and it'll work just fine. What are my thoughts on Death Island? Well, I actually talked about it in my Resident Evil CGI ranking video that I'm going to upload as soon as the stream is over. And overall, I didn't really like it. They did something that I just vehemently hated, and I even talked about it in my reaction for it. I was just like, why are they doing this? Like, it's wrong, it's confusing, and I think it's stupid. And they didn't justify it in the film when I saw it. I was just like, I didn't really care much for this. Saw it once, don't want to watch it again. And you'll know where I rank it in my ranking video when I upload it later today. What do I... Boom wants to know... How do you think video game movies should be made to be successful? What are you talking about? Dude, Mario just made $1 billion. I think we're way past that. People say that, oh my god, video game based movies are cursed. It's like, dude, there's no curse anymore. We've had too many video game movies based off of video games that have been very, very successful for decades now. We're past it. There's no such thing as a video game movie curse. They are good now. They are in a good place. They're good. When will the 5 Disney movies ruined by live action? Oh, you still remember that video? I don't think I'll upload that video anymore. I mean, just off the top of my head, I said like 5 films that they're gonna ruin. It's like they're gonna do Pocahontas, and they're probably gonna make like Pocahontas like a warrior or something. I didn't think they do Snow White, but like from what the little snippets I've seen of Snow White, it's not good. And I don't even watch these live action ones anymore. I stopped after I think The Lion King. I hated The Lion King for live action, and that pissed me off because that's my brother's favorite Disney film. And like that's a film I can't even watch anymore. Like I can't watch the animated version because I break down because I keep thinking of my dad. But like when me and my brother saw the live action Lion King, he hated it. He vehemently hated that movie, and that's his favorite Disney film. He was like pissed off, and I was like, "What the hell is this crap?" I was just like, and if you screw up the Lion King, then you can't get anything right. So like, I don't watch them anymore. Like I didn't watch The Little Mermaid. I'm not gonna watch Snow. I'm not watching any of them anymore. They just can't get them right. They just can't. So there's no point in watching them anymore. What type of machine from Horizon games do I keep as a pet? You pick the Stalker. What do you mean as a pet? Like as a mount or like as an ally? Because you can't actually keep them. But I would pick the Bighorn. I forget what it's called. But it depends on the game. Because I don't think those are in Forbidden West. I think in the first one, the main one I kept was the Bighorn. And I think the one I kept in Forbidden West, the one I stick with the most, I think is probably the one that looks like a raptor. I think that's the one I currently have on my latest playthrough of Horizon Forbidden West. So those are the mounts I keep. Oh, and also the one that can fly. I also have one of those. I have another video idea for you. Top 5 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Oh, that's easy. I don't need to do a video for that. Let's see. Just in any random order. Obviously, Terminator 2, End of Days, Jingle All the Way, Kindergarten Cop, Trying to think of the fifth one. Give me a second. What was it? What was it? No, he wasn't in that film long enough. I guess I go with the first Terminator. No, Predator. Predator, yeah. So, Predator, Terminator 2, Kindergarten Cop, End of Days, and Terminator 2. Or, no, Jingle All the Way. Those are my 5. Don't need to do a video for that. What is my favorite movie that stars Shia LaBeouf? My favorite would be Transformers 3, Indiana Jones 4, and Holes. Okay. I guess if I could do just 3 that he's been in, I'd guess Fury. I think he was good in that. I'd say the first Transformers. And there was this one movie he was in. I can't remember what it was. I think it was something like Disturbia, where he was like under house arrest, and there was like a killer in the house next door. I think that's what it was called. I think it was called Disturbia. I thought he was actually good in that. Are there any Disney live action adaptations you think are actually good? I think the only ones that are acceptable were made a long time ago. So I would say like The Jungle Book, I thought that one was okay. And I would say the first 101 Dalmatians. Whenever I think of live action Disney movies, that's the one I typically go to. I think like, you know what? I actually like the live action version more than the animated version. And I thought Glenn Close did an incredible job as Cruella de Vil. That was like perfect casting. Zach Tarv, how do I think Miles Morales will fare against Resident Evil supervillains like Wesker or Jack? Meaning Wesker would shock about Miles and his powers. I'll be honest. I don't like these type of I'll be honest. I don't like these type of versus questions. It's like I don't like mixing them. Like I don't like putting how would someone from Marvel do against someone from Resident Evil. I don't like those type of questions. To be fair, I'm kind of done with that because there's so many different elements and that's just too long for a quick Q&A video. So with respect, Zach, I'd like to just jump to the next question. I don't like talking about versus questions anymore. Like I haven't done a versus matchup in like almost 2 years, and I'm like I don't miss them anymore. I don't miss them. Do I like coffee? Yeah. As long as it's from Starbucks. What is the whole Jill not aging? That whole T-virus thing, plus I think I saw some gray in her hair. No, she didn't age at all. She looked younger in Death Island. It made no damn sense. Like, they literally just took her from Remake 3 and put her here in 2015 with the same clothes and pants and everything. Made no sense. I mean, at least in Resident Evil 5, they gave her 2 distinctive looks. And it's like, okay, this looks like an older Jill. This Jill looks younger. And I was like, I understand that there's that whole, maybe the T-virus or the virus infector may have affected her aging. Oh, I can understand that, but she still would have aged a bit. They never bring this up. And I'll say this right now. I'll talk, I say this in my video talking about it. But the way that Jill acts around Leon, they act as if they've known each other for years. And I'm fairly certain there is no record of Jill and Leon ever meeting. And yet the way they're, like, it's as if they've always teamed up. It's weird. It was distracting. There's like never a moment. It's like, oh, it's finally good to meet you, Jill Valentine. It's like, oh, hey, Leon, how you doing? It's like, wait, Jill, you know Leon? When? When did you ever meet him? Like, it was weird. You're right. They did release Resident Evil 4 on Switch since my sister has it. Yeah, I have it on my Switch too, so that's how I know they released it. My favorite Disney movie is Toy Story 2. Well, my favorite Disney movie is all three Toy Story films because there's only 3 of them. There's only 3. They didn't make any more. What country do I think has the most powerful military? Well, obviously the United States has the most powerful military since we have the biggest budget by several times. So, obviously the United States. I have a feeling they're going to make a live action Toy Story. Dude, I've been saying that for years. That was number 1. That was number 1 on live action Disney films that they're going to make. Guaranteed they're going to do Toy Story. Because when they run out of classic animated Disney films, there's only one place to go, and that's Pixar. They're going to do it. I swear to you, it's going to happen. My brother thinks I'm crazy for saying that, but they're going to do a live action Toy Story. They're going to do it, and it's going to be awful. Thoughts on the Expendable movies? I stopped watching past the third one. I saw the first one in theaters, and I liked it. And I saw the second one in theaters, and I liked that one too. And I saw the third one, I didn't really care much for it. And then once I saw, like, they can't go any farther than this, I think there's a fourth one coming out, or like a fifth one, and I'm not gonna go see that one. Like, two of them are fine. The concept is fine, but it's not something you make a series out of. How would I rank Die Hard films? I think I did a video about this. I'm pretty sure I ranked them. But I guess it would be going from worst to best. It would be the fifth one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and then the first one. That's how I would rank them. I actually like the fourth one a lot, especially if you've seen the unrated version of that. Do you do a worst to best tier list ranking Hogwarts Legacy spells? I don't. There aren't really any. I don't think that would work because you can't really do. There's no such thing as a worst spell. There really isn't, because they all have, like, they're all useful in one way or another. It's just how you link them together. Like, there's no one spell in there that I think is bad. I mean, I use all the spells. It's just you can only equip 12 spells at a time. And some of them, like, you have to keep their utility spells, so you can't use them in combat. And I usually have, like, 4 utility spells and then, like, 8 combat spells. And you just link them together. So I don't really think you can do a worst to best, because none are really more effective than the others. It's just how you use them in what situation. Do a top 5 favorite horror films. I don't have to do video for that. Event Horizon would be first. Ghost Ship would be second. Sleepy Hollow, I'm not sure if that's a horror film, but it's kind of horror themed, so I'd put that as third. What's the other two? I don't really watch too many horror films, if I'm fair. I think maybe Jason versus Freddy, even though that doesn't really, it's not really scary. Maybe number 4. And maybe The Exorcist is number 5, but that's kind of like a joy to watch, but it's not really scary. Like, I don't get scared from movies anymore. I really don't. How much time we got? About 17 minutes. Boom. I would have ended the Resident Evil trilogy after Resident Evil 5. No more Chris, Leon, Jill, Claire, anything from Umbrella. Any other games, I would have had a spin-off. Personally, I think they could have done that by 6. They could have retired, like, a lot of the older characters and be like, okay, moving forward, we're gonna focus on these new characters. Like, that's what I really thought. Like, when there was a moment I think they ruined in 6 where, like, Chris was talking to Piers, and he said, you know, after this mission, I'd love you to take command. I thought that was an amazing decision. I was like, oh my god, this is great, because now Chris, like, once Wesker's dead, like, you don't really need Chris to be around anymore anyway. And they killed off Pierce. This is like, oh my god, like, this was and because you have Jake and Sherry, and they've not appeared. I was like, okay, this is great. This is Jake and Sherry. This is great. And I even thought that there was a chance that we could see Ashley return, and she's a combatant, and she's like, oh, she was inspired by Leon and felt bad because she was, like, such a burden that she actually toughened up and now is, like, a combatant. I mean, how crazy would that be if Ashley came back and she's, like, a badass? And you can't say that you can do that, because Sherry was like a little girl, and she's a total badass. So if you can turn Sherry into a badass, you could easily turn Ashley. I would totally buy that. I would have loved to have seen that. What are my favorite Final Fantasy female characters? I think I did a video about this. You guys are picking a lot of things. I did videos about this. Obviously, she's number 1. Let me just. I'm not sure if you guys can see from here, but I'm sure you can see. But there's Tifa. Oh, you guys, Yeah, like she's number one. um, Yuna, Riku, Terra. This is number five. Nah, I would say Jill, but Jill was too. Jill was. I like Jill, but she was a horrible dominant. If she had been like a better dominant, I would have liked her more. I guess number five might be Renoa. I think anyone who could get through Squall's tough exterior has to be commended. So yeah, those would be the five I would pick. What would I change about Uncharted 4? I would fix the final boss fight. I didn't like it. I didn't care much for it. I thought it was too much of a cutscene. It felt too much like a cutscene. Like that's literally that's the only thing that stops the game from being a 10 out of 10. Like when it comes to like my favorite Uncharted game, it's always been two. It's like 2 and 4. It's like I think 4 is great. It has more things to do, but I think it like 2 also has a lot of things to do. And when it came down to it, it's like which boss fight did I actually like more? And I think that the fight at the end of 4 felt too much like a cutscene, and the fight with Lazarevich actually felt like a fight, and a tough fight for that matter. So it was that boss fight that gave 2 the edge. Even though I acknowledge 4 is incredible, it has a perfect ending. They don't need to make any more Uncharted games after that, but like that's what gave it the edge. That's the one thing I would change. Other than that, it was incredible. It was just almost a perfect game. I easily agree with your brother on the Lion King remake being one of the worst films ever. Oh God, he was pissed. Like I rarely see him get angry, but he was royally pissed. That he like, and he's a really like you guys are gonna see him in about 3 weeks because I don't know, we'll probably do like a people's questions, but I'll have you guys send him questions so he can answer for you guys. But he was really pissed. Do you think Kingdom Hearts would make a good Disney film? Hell no. Hell no. Not with this Disney. And it's not even like it's Kingdom Hearts isn't even really Kingdom Hearts anymore because they've stripped out all the Final Fantasy. So like it's going against the very original concept that it was originally designed for. Like and I don't trust and trust me, the fact that Square would have to abide by Disney's rules means that Square probably wouldn't even be able to use these franchises in a way that is actually in any good way. Like Disney would have to approve everything, and they would probably just insert all kinds of modern political statements and woke it up. And I was like, that's the one thing I don't need in my games. It's like I get enough of that bullshit from movies, and that makes me distaste them. It's like don't keep that shit out of these games. Like, which is why I really didn't care much for Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I didn't really care much for it. It wasn't bad, but it was just like, this was not worth waiting 14 years and skipping 2 whole gaming generations for it. It was not worth the wait. What was my favorite action set piece from Uncharted 2? Ooh, what was it? I think it was the whole train sequence. Like, right before you get to the mountains, that entire train sequence was incredible. So, Jill's personality in Death Island was still good. I did like her in the movie. I mean, yeah, it was Jill, but I didn't believe that this was like it was Jill, but I didn't believe in an instant that this was the Jill we had after 5 and 6. After 5, I didn't believe that for a second. Like it felt like remake Jill. Like it's a version of Jill, but it's not the Jill we should have at this point in time. That was my issue with her. Have I seen... no, Rocket, I have no idea who or what that is. Alright, Sean, what is my favorite character from Futurama? Mine is Bender. Mine is Zoidberg. I love Zoidberg. I would hang out with him in a heartbeat. My favorite episode from Futurama is definitely the what if machine. The first what if machine. I thought those what if scenarios were great. Like what if Leela was a little bit more violent and she goes right and starts killing everybody, and then like what if life was a video game? that was great. I so wish something like that existed. What is my Oh, what do you know? I answered your next question without even looking at it. That's crazy. It's like I talk about my favorite episode immediately after without you even needing to tell me. He also a PlayStation guy, primarily a fan of Crash Bandicoot. Okay, well maybe I'll look him up and see what he's all about. Which enemy do I prefer to face, zombies or ghosts? Um, Obviously zombies because I can kill them. I mean, how the hell am I going to fight ghosts? How would you fight ghosts? Are you a Ghostbuster? Do you got a proton bag I can borrow? Like, at least zombies, you can shoot them in the head or cut their heads off. This is a pretty random question, but do you think that Drake in Uncharted 4 looked a lot young compared to how he looked in older games? No. No, he didn't. He looked older. I definitely saw a lot of gray in his hair, and he had a number of wrinkles that he did not look younger. He looked older. Yeah. All right, we got about nine more minutes. So if you guys got any questions or you got any video ideas, I'd get them out now and make sure they're good ones because that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day. It's just film as many videos as I can and try to get them up. Still, Jill and Chris had good moments in the shooting range, right? It was okay, but it was like I already like. Well, Jill is like the most accurate character in the franchise. That didn't surprise me. It just felt off. Again, I'm not saying that Jill was bad. I'm simply saying I didn't believe that this was Jill after 5. That's all it was. Is it still a version of Jill? Yes. Was Jill perfectly fine in Resident Evil 3 Remake? Yes. Jill was perfectly fine in that game, but I felt like they just took that version of the character and inserted her in the present when it felt off. That's my issue. I didn't believe that this is a Jill who went through that. It's still Jill, but just like it just felt off. What is my favorite episode of Star Wars Clone Wars? I think my favorite episode. Well, you can't really pick one episode. It would have to be like a certain story arc. And I think the one that sticks out to me the most, I think it's the one where Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, they kind of go to this weird planet and they meet the entities of the Force. I thought that was great. So to kind of see like Anakin get a vision of what was going to happen and actually getting to see the physical embodiment of the father, the son, and the daughter, the light and dark, and seeing Ahsoka get corrupted. I thought that was fantastic. That was just excellent. Favorite childhood cartoon? You gotta give me a studio. You gotta give me a network. You gotta give me like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, or Fox Kids. Like it's impossible to pick just one because there's a definitive one for each of these networks. Because I think the '90s had the best era of cartoons ever. Like the 2000s, the 2010s, and especially the 2020s now. Like '90s by far had the best decade of cartoons, even better than the '80s. And the '80s had like, Transformers and G.I. Joe and He-Man and all that stuff. I definitely picked the '90s. I have a video idea. Top 10 favorite Mario characters from the games, not from the so-called movie. That's an odd idea. Aloy, anyone? Yeah, I like Aloy. She's right here. I like Aloy, even though she kind of is a bitchy character in Forbidden West, and they do something with her character in the DLC that I was like not weirded out about, but it just felt out of character from what we'd seen from her in Forbidden West. I mean, I didn't care, but I just felt like there was better options already out there for what they did. But again, that's not official. That wasn't an official canon ending, so I'm not too worked up about it. I didn't like the movie because it changed the story and the characters. I don't know. I like the Mario movie. I just didn't like how they pretty much dumped all over Luigi's character. And Luigi's I like Luigi. Did you like Claire and Rebecca in Death Island? It was nice to see them able to fight instead of being people that Leon and Chris had to rescue. That's not true. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, you have to remember Rebecca's a medic. Although to be fair, it's a bit weird how if you play through like Resident Evil 0, like Rebecca's killing hunters left and right, and yet like when you first see her in Resident Evil 1, she's like all terrified from a hunter. It's just like, did this girl chronologically kill like a whole army of these things, and now she's like freaking out? Like, she should be like a total. She would have like more experience by this point than Team B did. So it's a little bit weird. And Claire can handle herself. She just doesn't actively seek out trouble. But it was okay. It was okay. Nickelodeon, Rocko's Modern Life. Easy. With Doug being a close second. Favorite childhood cartoon from Cartoon Network? Dexter's Laboratory. Love Dexter's Laboratory. Favorite British movie / show? Sherlock. Yeah, I like Sherlock. The problem with today's modern media is everything is so censored. It's ridiculous, especially movies, cartoons. You're damn right it's censored. Like, if I had kids, I would not let them watch modern Disney. At all. At all. They would not be allowed. The movie version of Peach is awesome more than the games to me. Well, yeah. They do more with Peach. You know, I will say this. I love the power-ups. I love their use of the power-ups. I did not realize that it could work that way, but I thought it was very, very creative. So it was nice seeing Peach be able to use power-ups. I thought that was incredible. I really did. I think you're always answering this question, but what is my favorite school year? Mine is freshman year. Freshman year of what? Of high school? You know what? I might have to agree. I think about it. I'm like, it might have been freshman year of high school, and it's mainly because of I had digital media, and my favorite teacher of all time, Mr. Gordon. I don't know if Mr. Gordon still alive, but Mr. Gordon is the one who got me into digital media, and that was kind of the catalyst that kind of put me on my path of like, oh, I wanted to go into game journalism or game media, because I originally went to college for game design, and then once I got through the whole process, I was like, you know what? Making video games isn't as fun as I thought it was going to be, and in fact, it's actually quite stressful. So perhaps maybe reporting and talking about games is better. And the funny thing is a lot of the editing techniques that I use now for my YouTube channel, I was taught in freshman year. It's amazing. After all these years of not using it, like, I was someone who was like dead, just totally against being on camera, and now look at me now. I'm like, I've probably been on more, like, and I'm using everything I learned from that class of freshman year. So I think, yeah, that's probably my favorite year of school. How much time we got? A few more minutes. A couple minutes. We'll knock these last ones out. Thoughts on the movie Friday, starring, I like the last one, Friday After Next. That was my favorite of the Friday films. Question, could you do a tier list based off the Alien movies? I already did a ranking of that. I'm 100% positive. I already did a ranking of all the Alien films. So look up in my playlist of worst to best. 100% it's there, and it has all of them. It has every single. It even has the AVP films, and I just don't think I did one for No, I take that back. I did do one for Predator. Yeah, I did one for Alien and Predator, and I make sure to introduce AVP, both AVPs, and both of those lists. So look it up. I have already done that. Which superpower would I have? Teleportation. No, I take that back. Mind control. What kind of superhero armor would I like to see used on the bat suit or something else? I like his suit from Arkham Knight the most. In terms of how the armor is like kind of flexing, I like that suit. I had so much fun in the freshman year of high school. Yeah, so did I. And I'm going to have this be the last question coming from Boda. My favorite scene from the movie, that is my bike puke scene, that sequence where Debo freaking punched Red up into the air attempting to retrieve his bike. Really? I don't remember that one. Okay, well, I'm going to cut it there. I want to thank all of you guys for sending in your questions. Remember, if you guys have any more ideas or video ideas, please let me know in the community center in about, I'd say, 10 or 15 minutes. I am going to be uploading my Resident Evil CGI ranking video. And remember, trust me, if you want your ideas filmed today, do it today. I still have maybe a good 4 hours of daylight that I can film. So that's really all I'm doing today. And so I want to, I at least film it. And that way I can edit it over the next couple days and I can upload it as I finish those videos. So remember, if you guys have any ideas, discussions, you want me to react to something, let me know in the comments down below. Anything. If you want me to react to like the Mortal Kombat trailers or something, or just do a tier list or do a discussion, please let me know in the comments down below, or any way you can, or on Twitter or on Facebook, or however way you can communicate me. Please let me know today, and I will be sure to work on it. I have nothing else to do for the rest of the day. So again, I want to thank you guys for making this episode special. We will do another episode of the live People's Questions next Wednesday at 2 p.m. And hopefully I'll have a lot more videos uploaded between now and then. And like always, I want to thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will catch you all guys next time.